Welcome to Partners in the Now. We have Brent Brownlee with Fidelity Mortgage. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
Can you give us a little bit of your background?
Absolutely. I grew up in Jonesboro my entire life. My parents, my grandparents, they're from there. My wife grew up here on Sandy Creek Road in Fayetteville, and same thing. Her parents and grandparents have grown up in this area. So we've been around here for a long time. We love our community, love where we live.
Wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit more about your background in the mortgage industry?
Yeah, I came into the mortgage industry at a very unique time in 2011. I don't think anyone actually got into the mortgage industry in 2011. As a matter of fact, people asked me what the heck I was doing, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But it was a great opportunity because no one knew what was coming into the business. And so I got in to the mortgage industry at that time as an assistant. Spent a year as an assistant and then became a loan officer, and then have just been working since then. I joined Fidelity about 3 years ago, and it's just been a great partnership.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of Fidelity Mortgage?
Yeah, Fidelity as a bank has been around since the early 70s in Atlanta. It's based out of Decatur is where it started. And Fidelity Bank Mortgage is a little bit newer, and they've had a strong presence in Atlanta and North Side. Really only until about 3 years ago did we have a presence down here on the south side of town, which is part of the reason that I joined the teams, because they wanted to develop a presence down here, and this is my community. And I thought they were a great company. They were actually my number one competition before. So I thought, my number one competition, where I live, it's a good partnership.
Absolutely. And what sets you apart from the other loan officers with any other bank? What sets you apart?
I think there's three things that I like to focus on. There's probably more, but three things I like to focus on. Number one is first-time home buyers. I love teaching people. I'm an educator. And so people buying a home for the first time, they have so many questions. They have so many questions that they don't know yet. They don't even know how to ask the question yet. And so I love leading people through the process and helping them find the right product. And sometimes it doesn't even have anything to do with the mortgage. It's just the process of buying a home. What makes sense for them and their budget. And there's lots of programs, lots of confusing programs for people, whether it's down payment assistance, that kind of thing. At Fidelity, we have lots of different down payment assistance options available for first-time home buyers. So that really helps us in that market with, you hear people talk about millennials, but it's more than just millennials. There's first-time home buyers all across the age spectrum. Right. The second thing is we do a ton of renovation and construction financing. I live in Peachtree City. I feel like most of the neighborhoods in Peachtree City are in need of some type of renovation and update. I think it's an excellent market. We don't do nearly enough renovation financing there. I would love to do more. But we do a ton of renovation and construction across Metro Atlanta. And that's something that I really like to get my hands dirty, and that's a fun process. The third thing is me. I mentioned I like to educate people. And I was mentioning earlier how I like to do classes on teaching people how to pay off their mortgages, how to get out of debt. Which may be a little bit unique for a guy who sells debt for a living. But I love teaching people how to pay off their houses, because it's just something we don't see that happen enough, I think. And it's
educated on.
That's right, and it's a big sense of freedom when people do. And there are certain decisions we can make along the way to save tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in one of our biggest assets that we'll ever purchase.
That is awesome. We thank you so much for being a partner with the Fayette County Board of Realtors.
I really appreciate the Fayette County Board of Realtors. You guys have been amazing, great partnerships, great relationships. It's just it's a fun group that really does a lot for the community and the realtors themselves.
Well, we thank you so much for joining and for being a partner with us.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.